Hello, this is Mike. NoStressMike.com. I want to talk about um, commitment. And I've talked about it before. And when I talked about it before, I mean, it was a big thing. I mean, like a marriage is a commitment. And when you take an oath, it's a commitment. And and we know how people don't follow their oaths. Our political people are really bad. That's why, if it was up to me, I'd have all the bureaucrats make an oath the same thing. So people have to understand that they're committed in all aspects of life. And it's strange. I don't think we're taught commitment at a young age. So we don't really know and understand commitments. And because a commitment, and some commitments are for life. That's what the marriage thing is for. When you make a commitment for marriage, it's really for the rest of your lives what it is. And when you commit to the Constitution, it's the same thing. But there's sometimes you don't have commitments that strong. And the reason I'm even thinking about it is they're working on the house, and they have a three-man team, and that reminded me of the three-man militia. Got it set up for that. And the three-man militia isn't so much on, well, let's gather our guns and stuff like that. I've talked about that. It's not. It's the relationship that you get with these two other people. Don't have to be all men. You can have women too. But and you make a commitment with them. And whether it's learning how to sew, learning how to garden, or learning how to, it doesn't make any difference. And what you do when you're with these other people, you've learned if someone can commit. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody that you can trust. And that's where that commitment comes from. It's trust, building up trust. And but anyway, like I say, when they were working, it made me think when I was in the oil business, because they have the number one guy and then two people that are learning carpentry and this type of stuff. And he couldn't really do a lot of work. He's got to sit there and kind of supervise them. And that's about what the three-man militia is. You just need one person that knows what they're doing, and then trying to teach the other one. Even if he doesn't know what he's doing, one of the three got to take the lead, and that's what it's all about. And so the person taking the lead is committed. He made a commitment to, well, let's learn how to do this stuff, and yeah, I know a little bit of it. So then here, come on, we'll try this stuff. And then the other two make a commitment. Oh, yeah, well, I want to learn a little bit about it too. So they're making a commitment, but even though they're little commitments, they're still commitments. And this is the part that made me start thinking about this, because I'm watching the two helpers that are learning, and you can see they have no commitment yet. They're still learning to work together and because they should be committed on the project. And when you make that commitment to the project, then it's easier to work with the other two people. And when I was in the oil business, I had like 20 people working for me. And that's what I was telling them. Most of my work was done at night, but I was running a 24-hour operation, 24 hours a day. And so, I mean, it was, I had a lot of commitments. I had a commitment to my company. I had a commitment to the people that I work for. I had commitments to my oil wells. I have commitments to the people working for me. These are all different types of commitments that I volunteered for, I guess you'd say. Uh, and that's why even now, it's I'm used to making a commitment. Some of them are, this is the project. When we get done the project, that's the end of my commitment. So I'm used to doing this stuff, and a lot of people aren't. I don't think they even understand when you make a deal with somebody. You shake hands, and this is what we're going to do, and this type of stuff. You've made a commitment. And it might be a short-term commitment. It might be a general kind of commitment. And then when you find out things aren't working quite right, you need to make adjustments, or you're going to say, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't. You're going to have to count me out." Like I say, you got two other guys, and they say, "Okay, well, we're going to go steal some stuff." Well, then there's the end of your commitment. You had a commitment to them. Now you don't. And now I can justify that. Now we're talking morals, and that's why I think a lot on morals. It's because if, like I say, the Marines told me, if you don't have to follow any order that's immoral or unconstitutional. And that stuck with me. And then when they're sending me to war, I'm thinking, now how does this apply? I mean? So, where do you draw the line? At war, it really gets tough. And that's what made me have to think hard on commitments. And there's people I'm making a commitment with, and then somebody gets wounded or killed, and then that's the end of their commitment. But my commitment stays, even though they're wounded, even though they're dead. I got to make sure that their body's taken care of, either through first aid or, like I say, loaded up and sent back. I mean? Commitment's a big deal, even the little commitments. And I believe, and I'm thinking on this still, but I am thinking, I don't think people understand that the commitment they make to others. And like I say, I've been in business all my life, and when I rent a building or a business or whatever it is that I'm getting involved in, whoever it is I'm renting from, I made a commitment with them. And that explains why, like I say, I haven't owned a house since in the mid-'80s. 1980s, that was the last time I owned a house. So I rented, and I made a commitment to the people that I rent the house from. That's why every time when I left the house, it was in better condition than it was when I moved in. I made a commitment to these people. And you keep doing stuff like that, eventually, I didn't have any problems renting. I can always rent any business or building or house or anything like that. Because I know how to make the commitment. And now I've been talking to people that own property and they rent it out, and just listening to their horror stories, it's the same thing. They got to deal with people that don't know how to commit. They make a deal, and you don't follow up on the deal, or you screw it up. You rent a house, and then you end up tearing the place up. When you go to leave, the place is worse when you left than when you came in. You didn't follow through on your commitment. You think the money is the commitment. Here, I'll pay you, and then I can just tear the hell out of the place. It doesn't work that way. And that's, I think, that's why, to me, the money part isn't a big motivation. You hear me talk about gold and silver, and every once in a while I have some dork doesn't know and understand me, and they'll say, "Well, when you're putting follow money is the root of all evil," and crap like that. I mean, they just, I don't understand what they're thinking. Just like they're not thinking, and commitment is the same thing. When you commit, you make a deal. When I'm traveling around, I meet people, I visit people. When I'm there, when I'm with them, it doesn't take long that they can tell that I've made a commitment. And like I say, you invite me in. Well, I'm not going to go tear up your house. You invite me in, So, and the same thing. They notice even on Rex, they'll say, "Boy, Rex just doesn't, like I say, if you give me a room and I sleep in your house, I'll put Rex's blanket there, and then Rex will just stay on the blanket the whole time. Doesn't make no noise, doesn't do anything wrong. I mean, she knows how to make a commitment. My dog knows how to make better commitments than a lot of people. This is something you need to think hard on. When you agree to something, or sometimes it's not even a verbal agreement. I mean, just your manners, your mannerisms, and stuff like that. I say people can tell really quick with me where I stand. And that commitment goes the same for either me being me, or like I say, it looks like there's going to be some trouble. I'm going to step in, and when I step in, they can read me, and they can say, "Boy, this guy's committed to something that's probably not going to be in their favor." So then everybody kind of calms down. They can tell that commitment that I have. I got into this, and I'm not going to get out of it until it's done. And once they understand that, things change. Who's got the stronger commitment? And that's where the morals comes in. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.